Hello, everyone. Greetings from Yakutia. I hope that you enjoyed the music. Thanks, Aital. It was stunning. Aital represents Uran. Uran is electronic experimental indie dance project of Aital Alexeyev and Dmitry Popov. So I think that the music has the ability to connect us, and I hope that all participants of the forum will find the joint language. So I'm very happy to welcome you at the opening of the first Northern Youth Forum. And if you ask us why we have decided to conduct this forum, so the answer will be, we want to create a platform for the youth from different northern regions and countries. We would like to involve active youth in the solving the most burning issues that faces the North and the Arctic. And I hope that we will have very productive 2 days of the forum. So let me give the floor to Vladimir Vasilyev, the acting Executive Director of the Northern Forum.
Thank you, Savina. And hello, everybody, once again. And I would like to congratulate all of us with the start of the first Northern Youth Forum. It's an amazing platform is created under the auspice of the second Northern Sustainable Development Forum. And I am very happy about that. You know that the idea of the Northern Youth Forum was born just this summer, just in July. And I am very glad that young leaders like Savina, Sardana Zhendrinskaya, Sardana Seremyatnikova, Katya Safroneeva, and others just supported immediately. And now just we see just many young people joining us during these days. And a lot of preparation work was done. It was very busy time for all of us, and it's a little bit strange that we are not sitting face to face in one room and discuss everything we would like or we want. But this COVID-19 just makes some changes in our plans, of course, and every country just facing a very huge impact of this pandemic. But anyway, I am very happy that now finally we are all together online and we can see each other and can share our ideas, our projects, and find some common solutions, common activities we can plan during these 2 days. And the idea of the Northern Youth Forum, the main idea, is not just a platform, annual platform within this international forum, but I would like to see you guys working all together all year around to think about what we can do for our Arctic and the North, and to find, just local solutions for global challenges, and be our voice and be our leaders in coming years. Of course, sustainable development goals are very ambitious. You know, just 17 goals of sustainable development. And you, young generation, you should or must implement them in the Arctic and the North and improve life conditions of all residents of the Arctic and the North again. And we, just Haldor, Lasse Heininen, who are also with us today, me perhaps, we can be your mentors, your just some kind of teachers in this direction. We are ready to help you in any way you would like and to provide any assistance you need, making our life in the Arctic better. So just I want to urge all of you to be very active, to together, just combine together and do all the best for all inhabitants or just residents. Yes. And I would like to see just some concrete and very real joint projects and by step from regions to regions. You have to, I ask you to have, you have to create very huge and very active network of young leaders. You are future leaders of regions and countries, and you should decide what we do in coming years. So just Savina just marking me, just my time is now is over. So just I would like to wish you all success, and again I would like to urge you to be real leaders and create real international organization, Northern Youth Forum. Go ahead.
Wow, thank you very much for this inspirational speech. And I think that all the youth around the North and the Arctic will listen to your thoughts. Thank you once again. And I would like to give the floor to Dr. Lassi Heininen. He's a professor of the University of Lapland from Finland and editor of the Arctic Yearbook. Please.
Thank you, Ms. Moderator. Dear participants of Northern Youth Forum, it's my pleasure to be invited to give a short presentation. But first, I would like to give my greetings from sunny Helsinki. It's a lovely sunny day, noon, just now. After this, I think I will go to the nature. In my short presentation, I would like to focus on challenges and opportunities to peaceful development of the north of the entire globe. Before, however, I would like to say two prerequisites to take notice of my points of view. And the first is that it would be important, I think, to take the current state of Arctic governance and geopolitics seriously, because we have seen a significant transformation from traditional security into comprehensive security within the last 25, 30 years. So, I mean, to me, that is an achievement. And because it is based on mutually beneficial common interests and willingness of the 8 Arctic states to maintain the high geopolitical stability. Today, I mean, in the world where we have several problematic relations and uncertainties, this is very important. The second prerequisite is that I don't want to use words like threat or threat picture or enemy picture, which are rather much used in international politics. And I'm a political scientist, an expert on international relations, so I know that rather well. Instead of that, I would like to use words like challenge or problem. And the reason is that challenge problem is something what we can try to solve and fix, unlike threat is some very psychological thing, and enemy picture is something that it is aiming that the tendency will become worse and worse. Okay, so let's take first challenges. And the biggest challenge is, without a doubt, the rapidly advanced climate change, in particular warming of the Arctic region. I think this summer we reached the second smallest extension of the sea ice of the Arctic Ocean. So it's really alarming tendency. And actually, it's more than climate change. It's the combination of a rapidly advanced climate change, pollution, and loss of biodiversity. So I call it a wicked problem. But again, I mean, a big problem is very complicated, but you can fix it. So it's not a threat, but it's something that if we have caused that very much, so we can also try to fix it. And that is for younger generations. I think this is very important to understand. As if this wouldn't be enough, there is also an ambivalence or some kind of problem, that whenever a balance is sought between environmental protection and climate change mitigation vis-a-vis an increase of economic activities. So there is some kind of paradox that those who are in charge, they cannot make the decision, which one. And this is largely due to political inability to make these decisions. So the Arctic states are hesitating to implement climate change mitigation, means to make the hard decisions. And they are not ready to take into account, study or further developed learned lessons about the value of mutually beneficial common interest of Arctic geopolitics governance. And however, that is a foundation for this productive international Arctic cooperation, like this Northern Youth Forum is an example of that. Second challenge is, and this is very universal, it's not only in the Arctic, but it's worldwide. And that is a faith to believe and emphasize the national, unilateral, competitive military security concept, including nuclear weapon system. So this is still there, and this is rather much supported by like-minded policymakers, mainstream experts, even scholars. And this causes a doubt about the achieved status of the stability, which I mentioned earlier, and confidence, and that Arctic states have already reshaped their geopolitical reality. And also this causes easily a misinformation platform for rumors, gossips, different perceptions, which are giving totally wrong understanding of the situation. Okay, so if these are challenges, so there are several opportunities to make the situation better. And I would like first to say this high geopolitical stability. And this is very much because the Arctic states have understood the mutually benefit of this, but also because of people, civil societies have supported this. So this has been largely, it's man-made. It has been largely done because the people and societies of the region have pushed the governments to do something. And then second good situation is that we have common interests between the Arctic states and the observer states of the Arctic Council. I mean, those non-Arctic states who are joining the cooperation. And that has been really solid foundation for further international cooperation. And then we have immaterial values. So it's so often when the Arctic has been discussed, it has been mentioned that there are resources, meaning like fishes, marine mammals, fossils, minerals. But there are also immaterial things like biodiversity of a nature, biodiversity of life, knowledge, indigenous knowledge, traditional environmental knowledge, and ability to be flexible and fix problems. And then finally, I would like to take an example of human capital. So there are only about 4 million people living in the Arctic region, but however, it has been very influential when it comes to human capital. So this is really what I would like to emphasize and encourage you guys, younger generations, to believe in. So this is the most important capital what you have. And then please use it, utilize it, and further develop it. That is something what will be so valuable now and in the future. Thank you.
Good morning. Can you hear me? Loud and clear? Good. Well, for me, it's good morning. I know for many of you, it's good afternoon, even good evening, and hopefully there's even some listening that are about to go to bed in Alaska. I just want to follow up on some of the points that Lasse has already raised in his overview. I see the Arctic and the North as an area of opportunities and threats. As Lasse pointed out, we are now living climate change, and we are seeing changes in our environment and in the world. Who would have thought of the possibility of having something like COVID, where the world is basically closing down? When I was young, I'm raised in Iceland, born in Iceland. I went abroad to study. I was lucky enough to get the opportunity to go to Canada. And this was, of course, as you can see from my video, many years ago. And when I look back and I think about the current status of the world and going back these 40 years, it's amazing the changes that we've seen. When I went to Canada, I wouldn't even think of calling home to my parents because it was simply too complicated and too costly. And one would just write a letter and it would take a few weeks to pass over the ocean to Iceland, and then another few weeks for me to get a reply. Now we have the opportunity to speak to each other through video, as we're doing now. So the changes that we've seen are incredible. We had one of the first computers when I was at U of T. I'm old enough to remember seeing a TV for the first time. So we're looking at totally different times. And this, of course, provides both threats and opportunities. So what is it that we can do? What is the essence so that you, the young people, can shape a future you can look back when you're my age and be proud of the world you live in? So this is the big challenge. Lasse mentioned governance. We have governance, of course, in the world, and the UN has been mentioned, and we have national governments, and we have local governments, and then we have cooperation networks like the Northern Forum, which is providing this opportunity for us to speak together. And I think that's the most important, is that we have to learn about each other. We have to learn to respect each other. If we respect each other, then the problems will be less. If we can open the eyes of everybody to see all these opportunities and recognize the threats, then we advance. So the basis of all of that, in my opinion, is education. We need to have good education. We need to have opportunities to learn. And with the modern technology, we've been given vast opportunities compared to what I was raised with. So let's look at those opportunities and let's make them better. We're also, as part of the Northern Forum work that I have been lucky enough to be involved in, apart from getting people to know each other and trust each other, we are working on, for example, projects related to business, where we're trying to do the same, try to increase the cooperation between regions and between countries, between the people, because that gives the opportunities for a better life. So entrepreneurship is probably the key. Most politicians talk about innovation, but how can we actually build on that? In my opinion, the education has to be broad, and then of course the governments need to bring in funding to support people like yourselves, so that you can take your ideas and make something of them. I think that's one of the keys to a better future in the North and the Arctic, is that we have access to funding so that we can bring life to the many ideas that come about. And this can only be done, of course, with support from the top level. We need to introduce to the bigger companies the importance of the small and medium companies, where people like yourselves can start and thrive. We have to learn to break down the barriers. I know traveling can be very expensive, and of course now in COVID times we are not even allowed to travel, but the opportunities that I have seen in the past where young people have been brought together, like for example in the Northern Forum now, the Korea Arctic School, where youth from different countries comes together. And last year I had the opportunity and pleasure to meet a group of mostly young Russians that came to ÖTKRITIEE. I've been working on projects and presented the projects. I only see that as an opportunity, so I hope we can continue to provide such opportunities. We're also working on distance education programs, where we're, for example, a project called the EduArctic, where young people in Europe are introduced to some of the main things about the Arctic. So such projects are very important, and they provide opportunities in both directions, because understanding and knowledge is a key. We have opportunities now also with the new technologies and providing more visual material. And we heard in the opening music that is based on technology, of course. So these are the opportunities that we need to take. We need to bring the knowledge to the youth, and the youth needs to have the opportunities to bring this forward to the next generations. So my message is, let's use the opportunities to communicate. Let's use the opportunities of technology to enlarge the world. At the same time, the world is getting very small, as you know. But broaden our vision and break down the barriers, that's the key. And let's push the policymakers to make them understand that the money spent on youth is money well spent. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I think that all people participating in our forum will agree with you that we need to use the new opportunities, new technologies in order to make our collaboration better and deeper, and Now I would like to give the floor to Peter Haldarsson. Peter is Icelandic representative for the Worldwide Fund's Global Arctic Program. Peter is one of the brightest representatives of the youth of the North. Please, Peter.
Thank you very much, and good morning and afternoon to everyone, and so on. It's my pleasure to be speaking with you here from Iceland, and especially for the Arctic Youth Network. And so, yes, I have been active in international youth cooperation for the last few years. And it mainly started through my work with a local organization here in Iceland, or the Icelandic Youth Environmentalist Association. And just for your information, let me see. I have pasted in the chat a link from a new publication from that organization, which of course I will not go into further now, but it's a recent handbook made by the organization about environmental advocacy, and actually includes some further information about the organization, just so for your enjoyment. Anyway, so my work with that Icelandic, you could say, local organization is basically a platform for young people to engage with environmental topics. And the way, so what I really wanted to share with you was how my work with that local organization led me to this international arena. And it was in 2017 at the Arctic Circle Assembly held every year there in the fall. And we met a group from Alaska with the Arctic Youth Ambassadors Program. And basically one of the main things we discussed was that we had no idea what was happening in each other's regions, or for example, in Russia or other regions in the Arctic or beyond, because you can, of course, Google different regions, but it's not the same as knowing someone there you can trust to get much more better information. Anyway, so that's why we basically decided to start the Arctic Youth Network, to bring people together, to enable cooperation across cultural and regional boundaries, like has been discussed here previously. And even though it's not really long ago since the organization was started, it's been amazing for me to see how it has been growing. For example, the start of national chapters within the Arctic regions. There's an editorial exchange writing program to help promote stories and the voices of young people. And a very exciting upcoming ocean working group coming up. Anyway, but tomorrow in the session on volunteering and internship programs, I will go more into the details of the Arctic Youth Network. But since we are talking about this broad context of the future of the Arctic and the world, I would just like to share that, at least to me, the main thing we need to focus on are the communities and the diversity of culture and languages. And that is, of course, a critical part that young people play in that role, because if we don't have young people, there won't be any renewal. And I would especially like to mention the way in which all these different cultures and languages influence how we interact and how our relationship with nature is. Because, of course, whether we are looking at the challenges like climate change or political tensions, I think that if we come together and share with each other these different kinds of, you could say, cultures and languages and ways of thinking, I think that's really how we can find these solutions to these global challenges. Anyway, so I just wanted to share this briefly with you. And at least in my experience, the Arctic Youth Network has been a really great platform to get involved in these kind of issues. And I hope this conference will help spark new ideas and connections to help us move us all together forward. And I really look forward to joining all of you in the future projects that we might come up with. And to end, I would just like to say, as we say in Icelandic, takk fyrir mig.
Thank you very much. I think that everyone will be happy to establish a truly robust cooperation with the Arctic Youth Network, and hope that you will have a very fruitful 2 days of the forum. Now I would like to give the floor to Ekaterina Safroneva, PhD candidate in Economics and Business Administration of University of Vaasa, Finland. Ekaterina is a member of the Arctic Academy of Sciences and the Assembly of Peoples of Eurasia. Kate, please.
Thank you, Savina. Dear participants of the first Northern Youth Forum, we are really honored to organize this event today and tomorrow in order to involve more young people in cooperation, networking, and knowledge transfer in the North and the Arctic. Today, the Arctic is a region of special interest in science, in policy, and business. So in the extreme conditions of the Arctic and the North, only an innovative approach will make it possible to achieve positive indicators of sustainable development. In order to solve ecological issues in the North, we need innovative approaches in environmental monitoring, in information support, international cooperation, and attracting the attention of young people to environmental problems. In the age of digitalization, we need to pay special attention to human capital. Human capital of the North is our youth. And we need to invest in the intellectual and creative potential of young people. There is a need in more young specialists, researchers, activists in the North. Therefore, we need to invest in education, in cooperation in the field of entrepreneurship, science, internship, and volunteering programs. It is necessary to create the future intellectual potential of the North in the form of support for talented kids, young specialists, by drawing the attention of state, public, and commercial structures to support young talents. Our goal is to stimulate the development of research and innovation activities and investing in intellectual resources. Our task is to preserve the traditions, culture, and languages of the peoples of the North. In the process of globalization, the most important thing for young people is to know our origins, our languages, and cultures. With an innovative approach, we can combine technology and traditions. Technology can help to preserve endangered languages by digitizing, transferring knowledge and traditional narratives into digital forms. For example, AI applications. And especially right now, in the turbulent times in the world economy, we observe the fast transition from the raw material orientation of the economy to technological development strategy. The potential of the export raw material development model is exhausting itself. There is a need for renewable energy and sustainable technologies. The transport infrastructure of the North also needs a new technological basis in accordance with the development of industrial and innovation clusters in the North. Projects of the Northern Sea Route require the harmonized interaction between science, government, business, and local communities. And of course, it demands young professionals. New forms of economic and social incentives are needed to attract more active young specialists to the North. Sustainable development implies a balance between nature and society, between the present and the future. So let's start creating the future right now by creating these synergies for the development of the Arctic and the North. Thank you. Machtal.
Thank you, Kate. I would like to underline that Kate is one of the main organizers of the first Northern Youth Forum, and I would like to give the floor to the youth of Yakutia in Moscow now.
Dear participants of the Youth Northern Forum, we're happy to welcome you from the permanent mission of the Republic of Saha Yakutia to the President of the Russian Federation from Moscow, and here students and young researchers from the Moscow State Institute of International Relations and the Diplomatic Academy of the Russian Foreign Ministry, who are not indifferent to the fate and the future of the North and the Arctic region. And nowadays, the Arctic region, the North, face a lot of challenges that we hope we can resolve together. And the organization of the forum is significant for the young people from the northern regions.
We are glad to send our greetings to all participants from the regions of the global north and the north Eastern Asian countries, which are also interested in the Arctic issues. And as the younger generation, we want to emphasize that the North faces many challenges, including global warming and its influence on the human capital. Also, the level of living and access to opportunities for self-realization and a high level of education, etc. And the Northern Sustainable Development Forum is focused on the cooperation in all aspects of the socio-economic development of the North and the Arctic. And we also want to stress the importance and effectiveness of cooperation and work together. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much. And now I want to give the floor to the youth from St. Petersburg.
Good morning, good afternoon. My name is Anne. I'm the second course student of the HC University. And on behalf of the students of St. Petersburg, I'm really glad to welcome you. Welcome to the participants and listeners of this youth forum. And in fact, I hope that it is an excellent opportunity for us, for the representative of the young generation, to participate and to discuss an important aspect of the sustainable development in the Arctic region. And in fact, even we talk about the Arctic region, we really want to know. We know that this is a territory of the consolidation, and different nations, regions, and countries. And this is this aspect have the global importance. And during the, I consider it is important during the discussion to touch upon the areas of youth interaction within the framework of sustainable development issues, and to consider the possibilities of cooperation in field of their research projects, and the role of the actions of human in Arctic region are the great importance on the regional, national, and the global scale. And these issues requires a full cooperation to achieve its goals and plans. And on behalf of the Yakut students in St. Petersburg, I express our readiness to participate and work for common prosperity. And we are really glad to see you, people from different places now, and it is really good opportunity for us to like participate and discuss the important questions. It is really like covered all of us. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And now I'd like to tell more about the program of the forum. So the program turned out to be quite extensive. We have 5 main directions: human capital, ecology and nature protection, entrepreneurship, sustainable technologies, and innovation ecosystems of the North. Volunteering and internship programs, cultural heritage, youth and education. And moreover, we will have open lectures and round tables and of course informal meetings like today. So all of you are invited to join networking session, which is called Ice Breaking Evening tonight. So, and also I'd like to tell that we have about 300 participants from different regions, and we are very happy to welcome people from member regions of the Northern Forum, from the Arctic, and from the other countries as well. So I would like to tell everyone that let's have fun and let's have fruitful work and enjoy the process. Thank you.